Hey, yo, what up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Final round of today's EU top 8, or sorry, EU Swiss rounds for the UniVersus regional. My name's Tam. I'm joined by Barrett, and for the last round, we have something explosive, something fast. Two femme fatales absolutely trying to murder each other.
Absolutely. Aggro 7 hand size at its finest, as we are going to watch two of them duke it out. And as far as we're aware, because we don't have spoilies yet, they are duking it out for a top 8 spot. The winner, pride and glory. The loser goes home. Not really. You can have fun, obviously, on Sunday at our regionals. But, isn't competing for the big cheese. The day 2 auto invite for the World Championship. What these players are so fighting for. The first deck we've got up is Fran V's Air Mikasa Ackerman list from the first set of Attack on Titan. Like we said, aggro, 7 hand size, action, and has gotten a lot of tools from Attack on Titan 3, and we're seeing some similar stuff that we might see on the deck that she's fighting against. But we saw earlier today, Hunter's Ally, building in Genghis Frog. Mikasa has always been a character that I don't really do damage. Damage isn't my thing, but I do give scaling speed. What if we found a way to put some damage on all of our moves?
Yeah. The frog hits hard, and the fact that we get to build it in is so incredibly strong. On that Hunter's Ally, the main reason to play her onto the air symbol for sure. But on the other side, doing her best Mikasa impersonation is Pony Tsunotori. Mike Hardiman back again on the earth symbol. First was mimicking Godzilla, and now is mimicking Miss Ackerman. We've seen this list before, but we'll talk about it for anybody who's live over on YouTube. The idea of this is Hunter's Ally, build in Genghis Frog to make all of our moves hit just as hard as Mikasa's do, but instead of discarding cards to clear cards out of our card pool, we're going to be discarding cards to redraw cards, spend horn counters to clear cards out of the card pools. Our moves don't get quite as quick, but our hand size is a little faster. We do not have to land a move in order to redraw cards. A lot of similar actions going to be happening inside of this matchup.
It's crazy because, I think we're really going to see what's going to win here. Pony gets access to some of these tools that the Mikasa deck doesn't play very well. For example, Battle Ore Release isn't a weapon. Things like Science Bros are harder to pull off and get extra reward for it because we're not losing and removing as many cards at the same speed that Pony is. To top it off, Lethal Slash, actually not a great card for Mikasa.
Yeah.
Instead, though, I think we're going to see a lot more of ways to ready your stage. It's basically how well can I ready my stage on hit and get extra draws from there versus Pony. I'm a raw draw a bunch of cards character, and I'm playing things that support that game plan, and I'm allowed to do different things. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be a fast one, and I think we're going to see maybe which is a better game plan, at least for this event.
With that said, we're going to go ahead, push back to us so I can get us all figured out. First, a couple minutes. The official stream does not have the thing set up, and so we are going to be rocking it as is. With that, we'll transition and we'll start the game. Looks like Mike won the die roll. Going to get to go first in this matchup.
I think that matters a lot. I think, obviously, the explosivity of both of these characters matters when going first, so that you can be the first player to do an aggressive turn. But I also think because Mike is the deck playing 2 checks, this first turn and realizing what we have access to matters a lot more. But on the other side, as we know, it means you aren't going to generate as many horn counters on that first turn of aggression. But we saw earlier in the rounds, he didn't necessarily need it. But remember, we also saw Mike didn't win that match. That's why he's here. This is a win in, hopefully, to get to that day 2 on the top cuts.
Can we talk about the foundation that we played 2 of inside of this matchup? Double Levi's Relentless Spirit, probably the best foundation inside of this Mikasa list. After your attack deals damage, re-ready it. This can trigger after we respond with Mikasa to commit, draw the card, use Levi's to re-ready it. You get to do this 3 times. If you do it the 3rd time, it does flip over. It can't do it infinitely, but the amount of stage that we have access to via Levi's Relentless Spirit is we actually have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 foundations, depending on like what our checks look like, or so on and so forth. And so, although we fail that last 2 difficulty, there is a ton to be of a potential of an onslaught here.
Yeah, it is for sure. Because the best part is that obviously you can use it to pass your checks on damage deal. You may ready them up, and then you can still in the same window, if you need some extra cards, commit one or both or none to draw some extra cards because of Mikasa's ability, and then you still will have them back depending on what decision you made with those Levi's Relentless for the next attack you play, so that you can clear the card out of your card pool with Mikasa, draw, or give it speed, and then again, even if you committed some of those again to pass a check, when it deals damage, here we go. Which means, though, Tam, blocking is imperative for Mike Hardiman to deter cards like that getting full value. But of course, we have Mike here on the play, meaning he gets to play attacks first. Starting things off with the Hunter's Ally, building into Kiyomi. No frog here, but Kiyomi giving us the immense value when we clear cards. And not only are we going to clear a card right here and now as we play our Lethal Slash for the second card, we are then going to have a clean card pool once this Lethal Slash leaves as well. Drawing bonus cards off of Kiyomi off of that first clear, that's the first use. We have to keep track because Kiyomi does have a detriment that if you use it a couple of times, you got to turn her sideways.
Totally acceptable. That card's very, very good in Pony. One of the reasons this character was so, I really like this character last format before we got all these turtles and a half shell. It was the consistency piece. Frog is the damage. Speaking of damage, we've got Battle Release coming in 4 high for 4. Going to be drawing bonus cards, flipping some foundations in order to draw extra, hit a little bit harder, and we're still off to the races. Mikasa down to after taking the damage on the Lethal Slash, down to 16. Here's another 5 coming at us.
Yeah, we did end up blocking one of the moves with a Genghis Frog. And then as we go into a second block here, this is actually... I did not do a good job beforehand. I apologize, chat. This one is the All at Once that we're blocking with, I believe. It's actually just a 1 of in the deck. But it's just like, it's a nice little 1 mid block on a 4 difficulty card, and the idea here is that you can only really play ranged attacks if you're Mikasa. You can only play weapon attacks. So it just fits the bill of being a nice aggressive piece. It's a nice low mix up, but it's also a pretty strong card as well, just in general. For if it deals damage, you get extra readying of your pieces.
Turns any foundation into Levi's.
Yeah, exactly.
Determination or whatnot. But it looks like Hunter's Ally coming in for the second time this turn after a clean card pool because of our Lethal Slashes. Let's build in. Now we have found the
Science Bros.
So now as we discard things like Mikasa's Admission, not only is it +1 speed, +1 damage from the Science Bros, but now we resolve it for the extra +2. We have 2 cards in our card pool, 2 ready foundations, 9 health over here on Mikasa, 1 more point of damage, and it is game over as we drop to 1. And the Battle or Release is probably coming in to clean this one up pretty quickly. He said speed it up. You got me here. Game 1.
Obviously,
going to Mike Hardiman.
We were already throwing our mid blocks at the other high attacks that were being played. I think once we went down to 1, thanks for going through the motions, but you got this one. Game 1 going to Mike Hardiman very quickly on the play as Pony Tsunotori. And honestly, Tam, I want to see the exact same energy and the exact same aggression on the other side of the table now.
Absolutely. Mikasa puts that pedal to the metal even faster than what Pony can do because she trades off a little bit of that aggression for some defense. And so I think what Mike's going to have to do as Pony is not disrespect the output that Mikasa has. Go ahead and take and slow it down just a little bit because your entire goal is to get back to your turn. 23 is not hard, especially with Frog, so be chill. Make sure that you're not playing greedy, and if you have any ideas, don't check the 2.
Yeah, and that can be very impactful. I don't even think it's as impactful necessarily in this game, Tam. I mean, it could be. I could be completely wrong. But what I think will add up is if this goes the way that we think this fairy tale is going to go, Mikasa should do just as good of a job of doing a turn 2 aggression. That's what these decks are designed to do. That's why they're both in this position in the final round of this tournament before top cuts. I'm hoping we see that here from Fran. And in the game 3, when Mike Hardiman goes first again, that's where I think we might see where it might matter, and the difference of these two decks, one playing a 2-check with a very strong power in what it's doing for the deck, and a deck that isn't doing that and maybe can squeak by. Because if you do give Mikasa that one turn to attack after going second after a partial Paris Mulligan and then the bonus draw on the defense, you could see disaster happen after you've committed some resources to try and do your aggressive turn 2 as Pony.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally, fully agree. So from here, looks like we are mulliganing back that hand. Didn't love those 7. Our goal is to build out way wider than we did before. Build 3 unacceptable for Mikasa, especially getting to go first. We want to build wide, build deep, so that we can play the biggest, longest, scariest string, just like Mike got to do on the last one. So from here, again, opening
absolutely.
double Levi's, those are very scary to slam both of them.
Yeah, we're going
think we're
first,
gonna get
right?
one.
Like we can.
We're probably not gonna do
get
both.
one for sure. But yeah, the fact is, when we played that second one last game, we did check a 3 on it. We tapped Mikasa sideways defensive, or as we went for the build. But I think this is a solid build for Mother's Embrace readies itself, extra draw power here. The only card that doesn't really matter on our board right now is the
Feral Shriek.
I don't know what Feral Shriek. Thank
Yeah.
you. As we go for the build, we did end up getting, we have that Science Bros. It's built. The Radiant probably not really mattering much in this matchup, but we did fail the last one. Only 4 foundations on the side for Mike, and I don't think we've seen a frog yet.
I realized that I talked so much my Spotify died.
Nice. Yeah. But here we go. This is the big one. Do you review here as Fran? That's what we're thinking about. What do you review? Do you review? We kept it. And here we go. We're going to draw up and see if we can put in a good aggression. And the key here, too, Tam, is for everybody who hasn't played against Mikasa since her errata, is that I guess it doesn't matter. We're not attacking. But the biggest thing about her is the moves in the beginning of her turn are the easiest to block ones.
Yeah.
She scales in her speed as she discards cards and clears things out of her card pool, because she will only ever have 1 or 2 things in her card pool. That being said, from the support she's also received from Attack on Titan 3, and we saw on its deck list, Ackerman Team Up is also a move that scales in damage alongside your scaling speed stat that you give as Mikasa if you can get to that point. But a second build turn here, which includes a second Levi's Relentless Spirit, means that we have a really good turn 3 offense, but it means we have to survive Mike's turn 2. As we played the Battle Aura release, did not check too well on it, checked the 2, but we're going to flip one of them over, draw a new card. And here's an example of what you were talking about. We've already checked a 2 here as Mike Hardiman after our opponent built for a second turn in a row.
Yeah, I think stabilization is going to be really important here. Yes, we are threatening this flying elbow drop, but I'm not positive that it's the smartest idea to play it. It really depends on how clean we can get this card pool, and especially after the Breaker 3 comes in, coming out of the sideboard here, it must, with timely counterattack.
Incredibly good card. A lot of people really like this one if you have access to the air symbol. I've even seen Rodans playing this card because this +3 breaker block is enough to end people's turn, especially after you check a 2. Makes a ton of sense to me as we just build 3 foundations afterwards on the side of Mike. One of those being, I think that's that code edits. Did we build that code edits on a 6? No. I don't know what that is.
It is not a code edits. It is the
I have to go.
dumbfounded 3/5/3 mid block. This card ignores progressive difficulty. So you played at the end.
It's always on a 3.
It's always on a 3.
Yeah, that one's pretty good, especially when you're just looking to increase your foundation count. Obviously, even the block, it counts for that, right? It's always a +3 block modifier. It doesn't count the extra stuff in your card pool. But the benefit being is that as long as you have these extra cards in your hand, you can progress your stage. And it's one of the benefits of having the Earth symbol right now, which has not been a perk necessarily for people in the most recent history of set releases. But Pony really kind of showing that showcase here with this piece. Going to kick things off with a violent animus shot here for Fran. Going through the motions. The first attack is kind of the lamest one, I would say.
Yeah.
It doesn't get very fast. It kind of does this thing, which is why it's impactful to still have a card that your opponent wants to interact with, like Violent Animus Shot. It does get the block on it, though. It does get Shobujin Message for a Breaker 2, but we had a Ryukyu agency trainees to rebuttal that with. Built a
Yeah.
foundation down. We didn't check bat on it, and here we go. Things are going to start getting big very fast as we lead with the first Ackerman team up. It comes in with 1 speed because of Mikasa after we play the ability, discard a card. Clear the card out of our card pool, and then it also is going to get +2 damage at blitz timing speed because we've now cleared 1 card. We didn't clear it, but if it was a card that counted cards that left our card pool, that foundation we built also would have counted. But
thankfully, they knew what they were doing, because that would be just a little silly. It's currently a 5 mid for 5 as the 4-div second one that we played, blocking with the lethal slash, and then keeping ourselves nice and healthy. Yep. How much more can we get out of it?
It was for 7. Mikasa's admission was the card we pitched, but regardless, it did get full blocked. As we now move into another one of my favorite, this is Horseback Charge. This is another one of those foundations that keeps our that keeps our stage healthy while being a low mix-up, because you need to connect with your moves in Mikasa to get full value of what you're trying to do. Having that low attack, even though it doesn't get very fast, is a good way to do that. As we take it to the face, damage has been connected with. Now it's time for Mikasa to really thrive in this space. Drawing bonus cards, readying your stage back up because of the Levi's Relentless, going into the next attack. Oh, never mind.
We get to build off of the Horseback Charge. Duh, we get to...
The Horseback Charge says we build another guy down.
It is a Ryukyu's ADT trainees, but on an attack.
Yes.
And then we have our own Hunter's Ally. Not quite the top 16 or prize support ones that we have, but the beautiful alt arts. Flashy, bright and yellow. Love them.
They're all great. And then, again, because we checked poorly on it, but the perk of what this deck is doing is this is something the Pony deck isn't necessarily tailored to do, because our whole stage can get re-readied. But here comes Genghis Frog. For the rest of this turn, we're going to get +3 damage to all of our moves, as well as the scaling speed that Mikasa has already been working for. This one already came in with +2.
Yeah. We can't do that twice. Yeah. Opting to commit there. That makes sense. Doing it a slightly different way. We tried to take the hit, re-ready, respond, and then re-ready it again.
Not
quite.
Yes, you can respond with multiple versions of the card, but each response can only be played in the same of that one window timing once. Very similarly to how enhances can only be played once per enhanced step. If it is enhanced that doesn't have like a flip or whatever, right? You can't just keep pressing the button.
Here it is, 8 for 8 now. The Hunter's Ally coming in, the fastest bow alive.
Kiyomi, maybe? That seems to be the play.
Kiyomi,
the next Hunter's Ally. As we already have our Fry and it has Unique on it, why not pick a different ally card? And Kiyomi will help keep our stage ready when we go to play another attack. And it looks like we're taking this one straight to the dome as well. They are getting too fast to deal with. Mike says you have to have the moves. Keep going. Round to 3. Bran here with the opportunity to maybe take game 2 as long as we keep having attacks. What? And here's a Luna to Harris. This is the card we were talking about. This one counts for every card that's left your card pool. This gets -1 difficulty. So those 2 foundations we built earlier during the turn help reduce this. It's a 7 damage throw, actually for 10 damage because of Genghis Frog. That's enough to take
1 difficulty
out
move.
Of the game.
1 difficulty because of all the cards that have left.
Game 2, going over to Fran. Exactly what I wanted to see here on both of these aggro decks going against each other. And here is the one where it matters. Both of these players have gone first. It is up to Fran to break serve, or we might just see a repeat of what Mike was able to do in game 1.
100%. Yeah, it makes me excited, and we have the tools to do it, right? Like we saw the timely counterattack come in to Breaker to end the turn. Mike's deck could just fold. We could check that too, and then the game could be over before we even know it. But at the same time, Mike drew hot. He played hot in that first round. We could just have the repeat, like you said. It really is going to be, what pieces do we see at the right time? how do both these players navigate this matchup? And it looks like Mike, not loving his hand, tosses the whole thing back on the bottom and redraws. I don't think I saw Fran mulligan. I'm not sure that I saw it. So we might have just liked our 7.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Especially if it's things like the Levi's Relentless Spirit. It's really just dependent on how it goes here. But again, Mike isn't gonna let a 2-check in his deck be the reason why we lose. We're going to build all these low difficulty foundations. Granted, they don't have any text really in this matchup, but that's okay. That's not what we need here. We just need to deal 23 damage. We just need to have enough foundations on our stage so we can pass those early checks that matter. And maybe that means playing a Hunter's Ally on a 5 and getting our own Genghis Frog on our stage as soon as possible.
We're back.
Okay.
We are live. So I'm going to ask somebody in the chat if we're going to talk about top 8 afterwards. And I'm going to make graphics for top 8 or whatever. I need somebody to send me a list of the players in order from 1st to 8 with their UGN names. I'm not going to go look for it. So if you want the top 8s, you'll have to send it to me in a DM over on Discord. And then I'll make the graphics.
We're seeing some new cards as well hit the stage here for Fran as Mike figures out what's going on in his hand. But there's a one of team player in this deck that has hit the stage, which is really cool because it has an ability. This is if a card's left your card pool. It's another 3-diff that kind of readies itself. But it says you can discard cards from your hand and give your ally or water attacks 1/1. We are playing ally attacks. We are playing Hunter's Ally.
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
There's just like a little, and it's also an ally itself. It can be a foundation similarly to Science Bros that you can build in as some extra grease for your turn. But Battle Aura Release, the first attack here for Mike, we did end up checking a 3 on it, having to tap our 1. Aries Smile here could be the big difference on staying alive versus not staying alive. Leaves in a Science Bros on a 4. On a 4, it checks. On a 5. Yeah, I mean, these are nuts defensive cards as well. Genghis Frog, just to play it, throw it away, get it on our discard pile. Makes sense.
Interesting to get rid of the 0 mid block. Part of the reasons I think these elusive backups are so strong is because they were pitched to us. The elevator pitch is character cards are a thing of the past, but we missed the buddy blocks. Buddy blocks, character cards used to have 0 mid block to make them very powerful. As you look at the pony card on the preview, there is something really special about 0 mid blocks, but it looks like, as I'm saying it, there's a bright green card happening in hand as we speak. But it looks like the way that Mikasa won this game last time was a build 2, was a second build, and so it looks like that's what we're getting here this time.
Yeah, I mean, some 0 diffs here with I can't tell anymore. With the Shichiwaka Maru Foundation, which works in our character because we are playing weapons. But the question here is, after that build, does Mike draw another offensive turn? And here comes the Hunter's Ally. We set ourselves up. We put that Genghis Frog in our discard pile. Here it is. The Ooze Frog, unload the toad, as you might say. As we give 3 damage to all of our moves, kicking things off also by pitching a Flying Elbow, drop extra 1 bonus attack for later this turn. I think this might be it.
Yeah, this is going to be with only 2 cards in hand with plus 3 damage on every single move, not to mention the Science Bros racking up even more stats. I think a really impactful block might matter, such as Aries Smile. Hey, I need you to knock it off. Please stop.
And I don't see a Forcing Surrender in Mike's stage. That would be a really big way of playing around that. But also, hopefully you just don't have only attack cards in your hand, or you have to pass turn.
Oh, hey, a Forcing Surrender.
Speaking of the Forcing Surrender, you wish that was in your stage at this moment. But a Lethal Slash is going to help us out at least a little bit on keeping the health of that card pool. It could even be a scenario here, Tam, where if we have another Lethal Slash, we actually will be able to clear our card pool out completely because we already banked enough horn counters from earlier this game.
Yeah, whoa, and a second elbow drop coming in. That is
flying elbow drop.
14 damage sitting in our remove from game zone, just waiting to be piled on. And it feels like we've got the foundations to do it, especially with clearing these cards out of the card pool as we spin the horn counters and let it rock.
Yeah, going down to 2 horn counters. Like I said, if we played another lethal slash here, it means we could spin our horn counters to discard and get rid of this forcing surrender out of our card pool. Looks like that's not the case here, so we're going to play with another one.
Check
Checking
it
a
instead.
2 here on a 5, keeping these 3 foundations ready, which is 2 defensive ones, and the Science Bros. This 1 card in our card pool now could actually be impactful. Not so much, I guess, on this one. This is now the same as if we were just, like, clearing the 1 attack out of our card pool, but it means we're going to run out of these horn counters a little quicker. And it's really just up to the extra defense that we have, but we are already starting to take damage on the side of Fran. All of these hit so incredibly hard, kicking that out. We've gone back down to neutral state for the pony player, and here comes a very impactful Breaker 3 block once again. We have to tap completely out for it for the half block. Or wait, no, for the full block? I don't even know what
it is a partial block.
But it is Breaker 3 on a 4/5, checking a 0. Wait, what? That's not the card I thought it was. That's an Ackerman team up. My bad. I thought it was. I thought it was the timely. I thought it was the timely counterattack.
Exactly the same. I was.
They
down.
are very close.
I was so down. I was like,
but we checked the 3. So we show the flying elbow drop. We send it. We play the falling skies on a 4/5/6. Checks a 5. Taps our last foundation for 6. Make it a throw.
And
the handshake across. 3 high attacks in our card pool gives it +3/+3. Over by 3 damage exactly. Mike Hardiman taking game 3 down against Fran, playing his Mikasa deck. 2 slobber knocker decks right against each other.
And there it is. Pony proving that when you go first as your 7 hand size character, you get there. You get there most of the time. With that, if you're watching over on YouTube, this is the end of the final round. There's going to be one more video in this little series where me and Barrett are going to take a second. We're going to talk about the top 8 that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. If you're watching the VOD now, as we are recording, for everybody on YouTube and on Twitch, we are going to be waking up at 3 in the morning, and we are going to be casting the event live as it happens. Me and Barrett, the 2 buddies. I'm going to need a second Red Bull to get up that early, but we're going to do it live as it happens. Full deck list, as well as everything, the bells and whistles. Cannot wait to see you guys there. But that is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, make sure that you do all the cool YouTube stuff, like, comment, share, subscribe, and join us for the rest of them here in this playlist. All right, bye, everybody.